Hi everyone, hello and welcome back. My name is Natalie. If this is the first time that you're watching my videos, thank you for stopping by. I hope that if you enjoy what I do and share on this channel, you can subscribe and share it with your friends. In this video, we are going to talk about this upcoming week astrology forecast, and we'll end the video with a collective message from the universe through tarot and oracle cards. This video, we are going to talk about the last week of June 24th to 30th, 2024. So this week, we have a couple aspects and a pretty important transit that is happening for us. So on the 27th, we have Mercury in Cancer, trining Saturn in Pisces. So we just have our Capricorn full moon few days ago, and Saturn rules Capricorn. So with this aspect on the 27th with Mercury in Cancer, this might be you seeing your message from the full moon, maybe a realization. It might happen through an emotion or a conversation. It might happen through getting in touch with how you're feeling and sensing and your intuition, because we're talking about Mercury in Cancer, which is more about how we truly feel and sense, right? Our message, our thoughts might be a bit more driven based on how we're feeling and sensing around everything. And so this might be you getting more information or additional information about your full moon message. And on the same day, we also have Venus in Cancer squaring the nodes of faith, the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. So those are the points dictate our eclipse season, our eclipses. Having Venus in Cancer squaring that, it can feel a little bit faded today for some, because like I said, not every single person will feel all these aspects strongly. It depending if it's aspecting your natal chart, you know, if you have any planets or points around those aspects that I'm sharing, or if you, it depending what kind of year are you in, right? If you're Time Lord, if you know the ruler of that perfection year is in that sign or not, you might feel it more, right? So Venus in Cancer squaring North Node and South Node can maybe feel like a day where your emotions towards a person, a relationships, or a situation will help you kind of or guide you to make some kind of decision today, right? It might be a day where you're listening to your heart, listening to how you truly feel about that relationship, that situation. It's really not reciprocating. It's time to let go, or it is time to pursue, like vice versa, right? Maybe you are letting go of a situation, a person, a relationship that's really not serving you, that made you feel emotionally drained, right? Venus in Cancer, you want to spend people that truly value you, right? That take your emotions to consideration, that validate how you're feeling, right? And Venus also talks about money matters. So maybe you are looking at the investment, right? And it include, you know, financial, stocks, investment. It also talks about investment as in, you know, like your investment in relationship, or your investment to a course that you're studying, that you're taking, a skills that you're trying to learn or perfect or deepen, right? Maybe you find out that, hey, it's a sunk cost, right? I'm not getting anything from it. I'm not feeling resonate or align with it. It's time to let it go. There's no need to spend more time, money, effort in it anymore. Maybe you decide not to join that course anymore, to stop putting time and effort in it, right? Or vice versa, because it's North Node and South Node. While some of us are pursuing something, some of us are letting go something as well. So listen to how you feel today, and when something is a sunk cost, it no matter reciprocate, it is time to let it go. On the 29th, we have Mercury in Cancer squaring Chiron in Aries. So today can feel a little bit uneasy, a bit more tough, a little bit more of a icky spot feelings, because we're talking about feelings, emotions. We're talking about maybe our wounds, our trauma, or our past experiences. Having Mercury in Cancer squaring Chiron in Aries, it talks about maybe perhaps your own healing journey, your wounds. It might get reopened again for you to talk about it. Maybe this is a day where you finally express how you truly feel and sense. Mercury in Cancer, right? This is about talking about your feelings, not to try to avoid them or be defensive about it, which can be the opposite side of the energy today as well. Maybe you're finding it hard to talk about. You want to just like deflect it or avoid it, right? So this is about you, if you have been suppressing how you feel about a certain situation, a person, or how that person is wounding you or hurt you, even if it's in the past, right? You're finally finding it hard to suppress it anymore, because a square is a tension that needs some kind of action to move the energy. Today might be a day where you have a conversation. Hey, I need to know, I need to let you know how I feel about the way you're treating me, right? This can be one of the example. Or maybe this is the day you open up and express yourself, maybe to seek help, right? To find a healer, a therapist, to schedule a session, to unpack what is hurting you, or to look back, to start your healing journey, right? And remember, healing journey is not linear. Maybe today is the day where you feel a bit more vulnerable. You feel like one of the past traumas or wounds get open up for you to look, to heal another layer deeper as well. So today can feel a little bit tender. So make a mental note and take care of yourself, your energy, and others today. On the 30th, we have Mercury in Cancer sextile Uranus in Taurus. So with Uranus, there's always an element of surprise, of suddenness comes in. So today, maybe there's a sudden conversation happening, incoming some kind of information or news that might bring in some kind of positive emotions, right? It can be an outburst of ideas and emotions as well, because we're talking about Mercury. It can be our thoughts, it can be the way we think, the way we express ourselves. Even though sextile is a helpful and supportive energy, it can also mean that you might be rushing a decision or saying something without thinking too much because of Uranus. So try to be mindful of this energy today. Try to slow down a little bit, or if an emotion is bursting up, feel it. How does it make you feel before you say something that you might regret, or say something that you might not actually mean, right? So that is something to be mindful of as well. And on the 30th, we also have a station happening. Saturn is going to station retrograde in Pisces today on the 30th at 19 degrees 25 minutes at 3:06 a.m. Hong Kong time. So it will be later. For later time zone, it will be on the 29th, 3:06 p.m. Eastern time. So adjust the time according to where you are in the world. Saturn will then slowly retrograde back to 12 degrees for 41 minutes. And so if you have any planets or points, if you're going through a Saturn transit, especially if you have any planets or point between, I would say 19 to, I would say, 12 to 20 degrees, you'll probably feel it more than the others, because those are the degree points that Saturn is Saturn already come through one time and now it's tracking back, and later on it will travel forward again and go over. So if you have any planets or point between 12 to 20, you will probably feel this Saturn retrograde period more than the others. And Saturn will retrograde until November 15. So quite a while, 4.5 months. So it's going to be quite a while, but I mean, Saturn and most of, well, not most, all of the outer planets do retrograde 1/3 or half of the time in a year. So this is nothing to be fearful about. I want to emphasize that because I know how some astrologers or the pop culture always paint a very negative picture on planets going retrograde. Oh my God, it's going to like be so bad, it's going to be so negative, and you know, it's just everything bad is just going to happen, which is not the case. I like that we do have planets moving forward and backward, like retrograde, because it teaches us that just like life, we can't be constantly on the go and not reflect, not reevaluate anything in life. There are times where we need to slow down. We need to take a look and see, hey, how far we have come and what have you been doing? Are they right, wrong? Are they serving you? Are they not? Are they working out? Are they not? Maybe there are times where we really need to sit down, take a look and see, what are we truly doing? How are we feeling, sensing about everything in life before we keep going on and moving on, right? So it's kind of like progress reports. We should all appreciate when the planets slow down and retrograde. It gives us a chance to take a breather, to slow down, and it's necessary in life, right? All right, so let's come back to this Saturn retrograde. So like I said, people with planets and point in Pisces and other immutable signs, which is Gemini and Sagittarius, if you have degrees 12 to 20 degrees, you'll probably feel this retrograde more than the others, because Saturn is swimming back and forth in these degree points. So if you want to have a deeper dive, want to know what is that about, feel free to schedule a consultation with me. I do all kind of astrology consultations. And with outer planets, we always feel the stations a little bit more. So that's why I always want to let us know when does a planet station retrograde and direct. You know, the few days before and after stations is actually when the energy is a bit more potent. And with Saturn retrograde, it's kind of like we can feel this gravity pull from above back to the ground. Saturn grounds us, right? Pull us back from the la la land, the sky, and come back and hey, hello, touch the ground, touch the grass, step on it a little bit, time to get back down to reality, right? But don't see this as doom and gloom. While this can feel a bit more somber, a bit more dull or heavy, but also see this moment as a blessing to slow down. And one of the greatest gifts of Saturn is to bring us clarity, because Saturn doesn't lie. Saturn just give it to you like it is, right in front of you. This is what you need to know. It's working, it's not working, it's true, it's not true. It's no more rose tinted glasses, right? Saturn is like, here's the truth, you need to see it. Yes, it might seem like a bit of a tough love, but hey, we all need this from time to time to wake up when we are maybe not grounded or not, you know, not seeing things for what they are. Sometimes we need that reality check, right? So Saturn brings us down and humble us, right? So I do like that. And yes, while sometimes seeing the truth, dropping that rose-tinted glasses might mean that we might be disappointed, we might get upset or angry with what we are seeing, we might feel certain disappointment or regret. But it also frees us from those delusions that we create. It liberates us from over expecting something, overthinking of the maybe what if situation that might kind of that can be quite ungrounding sometimes, right? Saturn helps us to face something. We have to face it. We have to deal with it. We have to understand sometimes our limitation and boundaries, right? Sometimes things just not gonna work and we have to face it, right? Sometimes we're just not getting the result that we want, and it's okay. Yes, it's a bit bump, like we might feel bump about it, but then now we see there's maybe perhaps a different way to see it, to do it again. We get to learn to accept, and then we can learn to navigate through it, right? And Saturn is in Pisces. Pisces is a sign and energy that amplify empathy, compassion, spirituality, yes, dreams, and also brings our attentions to the more vulnerable groups in our society and around the world, to see things that are hidden, that are not visible most of the time. It can be things that we don't see all the time, not all of us see in our everyday life, but Saturn really bring it forward, right? Saturn and Pisces pull them all out and let us see, right? Since having Saturn and Pisces last March 2023, I feel like we really see a lot more pain, suffering, and trauma that is happening around the world as a collective, if I might say so. And I feel like even though we're living in a time where our technologies just skyrocket as the highest point, we enjoy all these savvy technology, when everything is so fast and convenient, it kind of really detach us in a way, because sometimes I feel like it kind of make us more separated than before. But also at the same time, if we choose to, it can bring in everything around the world in front of us through the screen. There's no running away, right? If you want, you can see what is happening all the way on the other side of the world right in front of you through the screen. Not like before, when there's no technology, when you don't know there's another piece of land somewhere across the world, right? Now we know everything if we choose to, right? And there's no excuse of turning a blind eye or being ignorant anymore. Well, there's free will, so I can't say that. But during Saturn retrograde, I feel like the energy will be harder and more difficult for us to do that, right? Because Saturn always draws things out. And while Saturn is in retrograde in Pisces, it takes everything out for us to see, to bring it front and center as a collective, like what I said, but also in our personal life, things that we want to ignore, we want to pretend that it's not happening, that we want to avoid seeing it because we don't want to face the truth, because once we face the truth, we might not know how to move forward. We might not want to move forward, right? Just like maybe I know this relationship is not healthy for me and I don't want to lose it, because if I lose it, then I don't know how to cope with it, right? But in my subconscious, I know this is a toxic relationship that is not reciprocating, that is not healthy to me. But I choose to not look at it until something really shitty happened, right? And something shitty happened, maybe you still don't want to. But during Saturn retrograde, Saturn is like, no. You gotta look at it right now. I'm gonna put this right in front of you. No more avoiding, no more playing dumb. It's right in front of you. You gotta do something about it, right? And I can't agree more with how Saturn and Pisces really kind of sometime through through all those despair and hopelessness and suffering and pain, it does kind of humble us and humanize us more in some way, because it invites us to witness and then to contemplate, how is it possible that in this world, in this day and age, that some human can be this cruel, can cause this kind of level of destruction and dehumanization to another human being. And yet, how polar opposite can people behave, and how is it possible that we allow this kind of cruelty to exist in the world? How are we okay with continue living life without being affected in some way, shape, or form, whether we choose to voice it out or not? We have to be, right? We are human. I do believe there is still this part of us that feels something, right? Maybe the level of being able to have empathy can be different, but yes. And this Saturn and Pisces energy also might have us question our spirituality, right? Because that is the quality of Pisces. It might make us question God or any like universe, any spiritual or religion modality you choose to believe it. We can feel that sense of hopelessness, like how make it make sense, like how is it fair? How can this happen? Where can we turn to then when God or universe or whatever can't even answer us, can't even do anything? And the system, the government that supposed to protect us, to do something, failed us, then what can we do, right? While there's all this I say can feel very doom and gloom and just like very depressing, but on the other side, it also allows us to know that while all this is happening, we can embrace the other polarity of Pisces, the two fishes, right? We can choose how to respond to it. We can choose what to do. We can choose how to act, right? While it can feel all those that I say, the other part of Saturn and Pisces is what kind of tangible things you can do to then make it make sense, to show up for yourself, right? How can we continue to show up in our daily life for ourselves with different ways that can help us to process and understand what is happening, and find ways to allow ourselves to be at peace and make sense of what is going on, right? What are you going to choose to do this time around when you have all this knowledge around you, when you see what is really happening? Are you going to turn a blind eye, or are you going to start to educate yourself and see what can you contribute to help? What can you try to do to be a ripple effect, a positive ripple effect to the collective, right? And as a personal way, maybe Saturn retrograde during this period will give you the version of truth that you need to see in different areas of your life that you fail to see or avoid to see or don't want to see. Some tough truth might come up, some tough love might come in from Saturn through people, situation, area of your life to help us to understand, well then how are you going to move forward now that you know the truth, right? It's going to be put right in front of you. So yes, I know it kind of sounds doom and gloom, but try to look at the positive side of it. Now that we know, we then can choose how we want to respond to it, right? While we choose to accept it, how should I phrase it? No, wait. May we all have the courage to accept of how things they are, for real. And may we also have the courage to choose what is best for our highest good to move forward as well, right? So now let's take a look at our collective message from the universe. So from a tarot card, we have Major Arcana and Saturn. We have the World, which is the card for Saturn. And we have Hierophant, and we have the Cancer energy here, Two of Cups. So this is really kind of mirroring what I'm trying to say as well. I feel like this is emphasizing the Saturn retrograde period. Throughout this period, maybe from now until mid-November, some of us might experience some change of events. Things might end, relationship might end, things might not work out. Things happen either in our life or on a collective level might have us question our spirituality, our religion. Is like, what the fuck is going on? How is it possible that this is happening? Like, hello God, can you do something? You know, that kind of feeling. But at the same time, while we can feel disappointment, despair, depressed about the truth and reality of our world or our own world, right? Maybe something shitty is happening in your life and you're like, what the fuck, why me, right? And come on, we all have those moments and it is okay. While all these are happening, can we embrace the duality, right? This Two of Cups serves as a duality, us looking at the mirror. We can choose how to respond to it. Are we going to be just, oh my God, poor me, why me? And like be very sad and angry and like, you know, cursing God, cursing universe, like why? Or we can choose to, okay, well, this happened, now what, right? Now let's do something about it, right? Gather the pieces and see how we can do. What can we do about it? How can we continue to navigate, right? Because everything happened for a reason. Maybe this shitty relationship have to happen so that you know your worth, you know what you don't want in life, and you can then align yourself with better relationship that serves your highest good, right? Maybe this business has to fail so that you can get out of this toxic working situation that is not doing your health any good, right? So try to see the good out of it as well. That is the message. And from the Moonology deck, we have Full Moon in Capricorn, which we just have one, and we'll have another one by the end of Cancer season. Take a reality check, which is also the message of the Saturn retrograde, right? And we have the first quarter moon in Aries. Step into your power. All right. Okay, so this is about facing the truth and have the courage to step up and face the consequences, accept things as they are, and then choose to move forward. Woo, this is big. I love it, right? Lastly, our oracle card, the Fates. This is about being okay, right? Which is hard. Like, come on, embrace all the emotion. If shitty thing happen, if shitty people is in your life, yes, admit them. Yes, this is shitty, but it happened. And it's okay. It's not because you are a bad person, right? It's not because you attract shitty things in your life. No. Yes, sometimes we cannot control things happen in our life, but we can then choose how to show up. We can then choose how we want to deal with it, how we want to face it. Of course, embrace all the emotion. Do all the moaning, complain, and be angry, be disappointed, be sad. It's all normal. It's part of the journey. It's part of the process. Embrace it. Do not run away from all these feelings. But also know that there is always a lesson behind it. You deserve something better, right? And that something better will come in once you learn the lesson and accept it and have the courage to move through it, right? So I hope this message helps. I hope you find something useful from the video. I am sending you all so much love, wishing you all a great week ahead, and all my information are in the description box below if you're interested to work with me. Again, I do offer all kinds of astrology consultations. I do akashic and tarot reading, energy healing session, whether this is in person or distant reiki or sound healing. So if you're interested, feel free to contact me, and I'll see you in the next